I'm Nancy Cavey, a national ERISA and individual disability attorney. Welcome to Winning Isn't Easy. Before we get started, I've got to give you a blasted legal disclaimer. The Florida Bar Association says I have to say that this podcast isn't legal advice. So I've said it, and off we go. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about ERISA offset takeaways and how ERISA offsets for Social Security disability, workers' compensation benefits, PIP benefits, and personal injury settlements can destroy the value of your ERISA disability benefits. I'm going to talk about the myths that disability insurance policyholders believe about ERISA and individual disability insurance and the truth. And I'm going to tell you the story of a Florida personal injury law firm that got sued because it ignored public's group health care lien on the proceeds of a personal injury settlement. When we come back, we'll get started.
Have you been robbed of your peace of mind from your disability insurance carrier? You owe it to yourself to get a copy of Robbed of Your Peace of Mind, which provides you with everything you need to know about the long-term disability claim process. Request your free copy of the book at caveylaw.com today.
All right, are you ready to get started? The first topic is going to be ERISA offset takeaways. How ERISA offsets for Social Security disability, workers' compensation benefits, PIP benefits, and personal injury settlements can destroy the value of an ERISA disability policy. Many policyholders are unaware of an important provision in almost every ERISA disability insurance policy. It's what I call the right hand gives and the left hand takes away provision that can reduce an ERISA benefit to a minimum mandatory payment of $100 per month or just 10% of the monthly benefits. What? My HR department never told me about this. So we're going to hold on to your pocketbook as I explain this to you. So let's start out first with the issue of deductions from long-term disability benefits. And the first thing you've got to do is get out that policy or plan. Yeah, I know I keep on sending you back to it, but that's really where we'll learn the nature of the deductions, if any, from your long-term disability benefits. And there's no uniform disability insurance policy. So after you've got that policy or plan out, we're going to look for two provisions. The first is the policy provisions that help you arrive at what your gross disability monthly benefit is going to be, because that's the number from which benefits are going to be subtracted. So the next provision is the policy provision that will reduce your monthly benefits or limit or exclude the payment of benefits for medical conditions like fibromyalgia, migraines, or psychiatric disabilities. Now, I'm going to come back to the limited pay medical condition provisions in a later episode because we've got a lot to cover in this episode. The offset provision of a policy says that the gross monthly benefits are reduced by these takebacks or offsets allowed by the policy, even though your HR manager may have never told you about these. By the way, a policy without these provisions for offsetting or reducing other income are called non-integrated policies. The cover sheet of the policy should indicate whether or not your policy is non-integrated or integrated. And I will tell you that the non-integrated policies are typically individual disability policies, not an ERISA policy. If you can't tell, all you need to do is to read the policy and locate a provision entitled, "What are the deductible sources of income or other sources of income?" It's crucial that you know what those sources of income that are going to be subtracted from the disability benefits so that you can determine whether or not you can live on the net amount of money that you're going to get and whether it's worth applying for disability insurance benefits. So I'm going to set the stage for you. The policy provision will allow the disability carrier traditionally to offset the following. They can reduce or offset your disability benefits by the receipt of Social Security disability benefits and Social Security dependent benefits, workers' compensation benefits, PIP benefits, and personal injury settlements. In our next episode, I'm going to talk about Social Security offsets because that alone is a whole different episode. I'm going to take time now to explain the issue that I get all the time, and that is, can the disability insurance carrier reduce my disability insurance benefits by the receipt of workers' comp, PIP benefits, or PI settlements? But before I answer that question, like any lawyer, I'm going to have to ask another question. Is there a uniform offset provision? And the answer to that is generally no. There's generally no uniform disability insurance policy, much less a uniform offset provision. So the key to understanding this, as I've said, is to get a copy of the plan documents and look at the offset provisions in the policy. Now, that's particularly true before any workers' compensation or personal injury case is settled. Unfortunately, many workers' comp and personal injury attorneys screw this up every day because they don't think they've got to worry about it. And that is wrong. In fact, the attorney will have committed malpractice and could face a bar grievance by failing to deal with this issue. And I'm going to tell you the story about what happened to one law firm who stuck their head in the sand and tried to ignore the offset provisions. Understanding how the offset works is something that you should know at the very beginning of the claim, and not when you're sitting at a mediation trying to settle your workers' compensation case, PI case, or figuring out how a personal injury protection payment or settlement or verdict is going to reduce your benefits. You need to start answering questions about those offsets from the very beginning of your case. But remember that regardless of what you do to shield yourself from reimbursement, it's most likely not going to be successful. And you and your attorney are going to have to deal with these issues. I'm going to take a quick break, and when I come back, we're going to continue this discussion.